Is there hope for the Premier League to return? Or is it maybe too soon to bring that EPL back? Will we see a freaking end to this EPL season? Or will it even ever truly be safe?
Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H.
Let me just say something before I go deep into this whole stuff. And I want you to hear this very clear. I don't watch football for the fans. The fans are cool and it's great and everything. I don't watch football for Bobby Johnson and how much he has supported Liverpool or Chelsea or United all his life. Like for I don't mean to sound harsh. That doesn't really concern me. I watch football because of great football players playing it at the highest level. Not bricks, but I'm looking for those Chiefs, tier one, upper tier twos, tier threes, and potential dudes playing it. So this being played behind closed doors and there not being any fans, it means nothing to me. I watch football sometimes without even commentary, so it's cool. But it's the only concern is it safe? Is it safe? Because nothing is worth putting guys into unnecessary danger. So let's just here's out your boy BBC and see what these dudes are saying. So we apparently Premier League, there have been 6 positive coronavirus tests across 3 clubs. Interesting indeed. So let's just move this transit to what guys in. So there were 6 positive tests for coronavirus across 3 Premier League clubs on Sunday and Monday as the top flight prepares to resume in June. The unnamed players or staff who have tested positive will now self-isolate for 7 days. But remember, this is very similar to the German situation where a group of Cologne players tested positive and they're like, all right, these guys are positive. Boom, put them in incubation. Everyone who's negative, let's go through. And what is not going to happen is they're now going to be constant tests, rolling tests again and again and again and again to ensure that at any given point, every single soul inside the stadium have all tested negative for this virus. So a total of 748 players and staff from 19 clubs were tested. The remaining clubs did their test on Tuesday, so will be included in Saturday's results. Squads are starting non-contact training from Tuesday. Non-contact training from Tuesday. The Premier League has been suspended since the end of the match because of the COVID-19 pandemic, with 92 fixtures remaining. The league had previously identified 12th of June for matches to possibly start again. There is now an expectation that this will be pushed back. And I think it was Sterling that said 12th of June is way too soon. 12th of June is way too soon. That he says that based off the law and how much we've been away, we would need at least 2 months of training. But how long did the German dudes have? And I don't think they have 2 months. I think they maybe had like a month or maybe like three weeks. And Dortmund looked great. Leverkusen looked great. Kai Havertz is now finally saying what's up to the world. But again, who knows? It's different people and different stuff. So I wouldn't know because I've never been a professional football player. Do you need 2 months, or what is the least you need in order to be at a high standard? A month and a half? For me, I would say you need at least a month. 2 months seems excessive, but say you need at the very least a month of, all right, boom, running up and down, fitness, drills, to be like, I'm already get that. And a month solid of like pretty much the best part of every, like 5 days a week, 6 days a week of really well at it. But that's also me doing like a wild guess. Clubs were permitted to test up to 40 personnel, and some did not use their full allocation, while some samples are still yet to be processed. At Monday's product restart meeting, English top flight clubs agreed to stage 1 of the return to training protocols. As well as training in small groups of no more than 5, sessions must last no longer than 75 minutes for each player. Official protocols were sent to players and managers last week. All right, but what is interesting is this. This is from Troy Deeney. So Watford captain Troy Deeney says he will not return to training because he fears for his family's health amid the coronavirus pandemic. Dini doesn't want to put his baby who has had breathing difficulties in more danger and has raised concerns over the increased risk to Black, Asian, and minority ethnic players. What are not due to train on Tuesday, but it is understood the club do not have a problem with Dini's stance. In an interview with the Times of the Weekend, manager Nigel Pearson expressed his own concerns about the situation and said he would not insist on players reporting for training. So Dini says, my son is only 5 months old. He had breathing difficulties, so I don't want to come home to put him in more danger. So this is interesting about how people say that. It says Black men and women are nearly twice as are likely to die from coronavirus as white people in England and Wales. That is crazy. He said, my point was in a meeting. I asked very simple questions. For Black, Asian, and mixed ethnicities, they're 4 times more likely to get the illness. They're twice as likely to have long-lasting illnesses. Is there anything extra? Is there anything extra additional screening has to see if people have got problems with that? No. Okay, I feel that that should be addressed. So some interesting things here. Some very interesting things here. So I think you have to view the very fact that he's making his stance very clear. That he's making his stance very clear here with regards to, I don't think that it is safe for me to go into this whole thing based on my own personal situation. This is always something that I thought would always be an issue because the Premier League are pushing ahead. They are pushing ahead. Guys are back into training, and this is almost very similar to the kind of stages we saw in the Bundesliga, small team training, and you slowly increase more and more and more, and you do regular testing and so forth. But I always said that the situation in Germany is very different from the situation in England. And you can't just completely copy the German model and put it onto an international model. England have the highest death rate in all of Europe because your boy Brick-Chris Johnson, has handled this like a complete clown. And this was always an issue. What if you have several players who are similar to Troy Deeney? I'm like, boom, this is my situation here. I've got someone at home who has breathing difficulties. I've got someone at home who has asthma. I've got someone at home who has diabetes and so forth. So because we need this Premier League to come back, I must now stay away from my children, stay away from my family and so forth. What if I've got a newborn? I must stay away from my newborn in order to finish the season. That seems like quite a harsh price to pay. The question is, I don't really know whether this Premier League season is going to finish because we have to look at how far Bundesliga take it. I'm going to say about how far Bundesliga take it because if anything happens to during the Bundesliga season, then the Premier League is a wrap. So we have to see how many so if all the players who are all negative have tested negative for the result, does that mean that they will all agree to play? Because even if they're all negative, it is still a risk. It is still a risk, because I've always said that, are these tests 100% accurate? Are these tests actually 100% accurate? Oh, wait, no, 100%, boom, foolproof. It is what it is. You can be sure that everyone in here doesn't have the virus. What if you were tested negative, but you somehow still have it because somehow the testing equipment was not able to fully identify the virus within you, and then the stuff now begins to spread, which is why it is important to see how the Bundesliga unfolds. Because if, let's say, 4 or 5 weeks, a month has gone, and there is not a widespread of the disease, then it's like, okay, maybe this testing and this framing works. All right, Germany, what exactly did you do so we can copy it, so we can finish our season as well? Because what you're doing, it's working. It's working because we're not seeing a massive spread. We're just seeing a few cases of people who are negative, you self-isolate them. It's all cool. So that's the question I want to ask you guys. How many will all players all accept and be like, yeah, we're going to go into training and we're all good? Because the key thing here is this cannot be a decision based on purely money. It's going to be a decision based on morale. Screw your morale. Screw the morale of the fans. Screw the morale of the country. All that matters is the safety of the people. So football players now have a service. They now have a duty. Let me just say, they now have a duty to uplift the morale of the nation. So, well, if football is returning back to normal, if things are turning back to normal, and it seems as if we should all raise our morale and all be nice and happy. I'm like, really? So, it's going to be interesting to see how many people have Troy Deeney stance, because Troy Deeney has always been a guy who he'll speak his mind. He doesn't matter, because based on how he is as a guy and a character, he doesn't go give a damn what you think. Because I just say to myself that if we have a situation where there are several key players, he's one of Watford's best players. So if we have several key players, top players, who for whatever reason don't want to take part because they don't think it is safe enough, should you still go ahead with the season? Now, in the top end, I don't think it will matter whether Aguero says I don't want to play, because I don't think City are catching up to the Liverpool. It's not happening. So wrap that up. That would have made. But at the lower end of the table, where it's a lot closer, if certain key players from certain teams don't want to come through, that could be a serious detriment to a team staying up, which means a lot, because we've seen the amount of money homeboys get. For me, we have to monitor this. We have to monitor this. Okay, they're coming back into training. How long are they going to stay into training? What will the situation in England be? I was talking to my neighbors, and they think there's going to be a second wave. They believe there's going to be a second wave of this whole thing. So if there's a second wave, and you guys are out there, crazy. Become a Football Hut member and gain access to cool emojis on the live streams, and get access to new YouTube content by clicking the join button here. And to view that new content, head over to the YouTube channel homepage and click on the community tab over here.